Hey, it's Duncan McGilvery. It's time for another edition, the second edition of Free Legal Information Friday. So I thought that since we're now getting into the winter months here in Thunder Bay and it's starting to get snowy and icy, the sidewalks are starting to be in pretty crappy shape, we talk a little bit about notice periods for slip and falls on sidewalks and other city property in Thunder Bay and other cities and towns around northwestern Ontario. So a lot of people don't know this, but there's a 10-day notice period for any sort of lawsuit or claim out of a slip and fall or trip and fall, any sort of a claim on city property. So that means if you slip and fall on an icy sidewalk, or you trip and fall on a crumbling sidewalk or crumbling city property, which happens sometimes in Thunder Bay, you only have 10 days to give the city notice of your identity, where you fell, and your injuries. And that notice has to be sent to the office of the city clerk. You can do it in a letter, you can do it in a fax. Their fax number is 625-2233, but you have to give them notice within the 10-day period. If not, that could be fatal to your claim against the city. If you haven't given them notice, you have to have a reasonable excuse. And not knowing about the notice period is not a reasonable excuse as far as the law is concerned. If you're in the hospital or something like that, that could extend the notice period. And you also have to show that there's no prejudice on the city in giving them late notice. So if you do give them notice outside of that 10-day period, you could be in trouble and your claim could be thrown out. So the best thing to do is, if you've had a slip and fall on city property or a trip and fall on city property, call a lawyer right away. We can get a notice letter out, we can preserve your rights. Thanks. That's free legal information, not advice, information Friday.